Wow!
Good morning, a good day wherever you are, everyone. It's International Women's Day 2022, and what better day to celebrate equality, woman for woman, pushing your crown up, all of the great things to celebrate each other. I'm a mother of girls, so of course I would like everyone to treat them fairly, lady to lady. So today we are going to expose the American Elegance pageant. Now, they found some loopholes, because yes, I did take them to court. I still think Clark County is pretty lazy, as in not even reading the contract. They're still never stated any amount of money to be paid to go to nationals. This is also why the second queen didn't go to the nationals that I was supposed to attend as well. But we'll get to that in a minute. I want to look at the big numbers. Let's take a look. And just so you know, these numbers are a low balling number. You're just thinking 5 princesses, 5 queens. If you take a look at any of the social media for American Elegance pageants, they definitely have more than that paying to attend, to compete, I should say, for the crown. So, right now, in each of the states, Nevada, Illinois, and Georgia, they particularly have had DBAs. They are all expired. That is why you can shoot down to the Instagram link there and see that I registered not for any real intent of hosting a pageant, but just to show how easy it is to claim a name. But a DBA is not a business structure, so in reality, they never had any pageant business. Nevada, Georgia, like I've said in prior videos, they ran a few years. You can get online and do the research now yourself or go back and look. They run a DBA, they don't register any LLC or anything, and then just let it expire. So if you look at each of the states, and I know that Illinois, I think there might be an Iowa now, and maybe like northern, southern. So you're running many, as you could think, many branches, many franchises, as you will. So just in, let's say, the middle there, let's just say that's Nevada, Illinois, or Georgia. It could be Iowa, it could be any state. You're charging $150 for a princess. You're charging $300 entry for a queen. Let's just say that you have 5 princesses there. You have 8 queens in the state. It's a total. You can see the total, $750. You can see the total, $2,400. The extras, photo, community, talents, tickets, $150. Let's just say all of them do the extra entries. You do have to sell tickets according to their contract. Everything goes through PayPal, and you have to sell so many tickets. Wonderful things like that. So you know that they're definitely making money. There's the ticket things. Yep. So just know that all these numbers are lowballing, and the $1,500 room rental will give each state and nationals a $1,500 room rental. So again, I feel like the numbers are just lowballing it. So at the end, each state, each director, they should end up with about $3,600. Not bad for a local pageant. Now you look over here at nationals. You have a $300 entry. You have 6 different divisions. Let's just say there's 5 princesses in each division. Now that's a total of 30 little girls competing for a crown. And you look over here at the queens, it's a $465 entry. You have 5 divisions. Let's say you have 5 queens in each of those divisions. There's 25 total. 25 queens total. So if you just look at the entry fee, you can see how much a pageant could make. $9,000 for the princesses, $11,000 for the queens. And then yes, you still have the extras that you pay. You have most photogenic, community award, talent award, people who sell the most tickets. So let's just say that everybody does the extras. So you make an extra $4,500 with the little girls. You can make an extra $3,000, almost $4,000 off of queens for all these extras they can enter. So you see the total for a pageant princess. You can make, as a business, $13,000. Queens, $15,000. So let's sit here and add up all these numbers as far as the $13,500, the $15,375. We'll take off $1,500 for, a room rental so you can host this pageant. And we'll see how much you make. And right before we get all this here, as you can see, again, shoot down to the Instagram link. Maybe we'll post it up here. The pageant says it started in 1999, so that's 20 years. Well, and then it's been a few years, so now it's been what, like 20, 24 years, 23 years? However, when you get online and look at the registration, it's still not the lady that actually runs the pageant. So I had to go and find her name and everything, literally deep in the web, Google searching, to be able to get to the Illinois Attorney General's office to get her, response. And so I get this response, and this is again where when I took the local Nevada to court, there's a loophole. Essentially, when you sign something, of course, you're bound to it. However, it just doesn't look like any Clark County justice or district judge wants to be competent enough to just open up some papers, because the price in the $365 was never there. Never. So is it about the 600 some bucks I spent in court? No. When they're taking in sponsorships and they're asking for you to go to businesses and get money, well, I sent some things out, and when I questioned the 365, I was kicked out of that little secret Facebook group that I'm sure anybody can get on Facebook and find. And then there's pages of messaging of unprofessional, of how you can see how I guess it went back and forth. Either way, when you question the money, it's not written down. You get no response from the people who are, creating this pageant. On top of, at the point of putting out the YouTube videos, which was great because I will get those. I haven't had time because this isn't my priority really, but do know, because it's just unfair. You don't get to sign a contract here, which states absolutely no fee for nationals. The other lady read it as well and didn't go because she couldn't afford it. But for me, it was more about why you don't have it written down. And then everything else that kind of followed. And then a business being like, so they must have checked into it. But some of the sponsorship things that I sent out were to bigger companies. So that's kind of embarrassing. But again, I guess we all should do our research and know that a pageant is legit and registered, paying the business license, just like I do for my business, the city fees, making sure you're running your taxes properly at the end of the year. Now, is that really any of my business whether they do or not? No, go ahead, make your money, because we'll see here what you've made in the past 20 years. The thing is you're lying. You're not legit until this year. Again, get on the Instagram. I'll link everything. It was just registered this year, so you haven't been doing things proper. And fix the contracts. That's your nationals fee is not stated, at least in my state pageant, it wasn't. Anyway, you go and get this franchise contract that the Illinois Attorney General's office sent me. And when you go through it here, you can see they do call it a franchise. they have to agree to send at least 2 state or title holders. So when you're thinking 465, no matter what, no matter how many states you have, if there's 3 running now or 4 running now, the national office will always make that 465, if that makes sense to anybody. However, the problem with this is they're not a franchise. And none of the states, as far as when we were going through any of this, kept their registration. Even Nevada's pageant DBA let it expire, and none of them were LLCs. Now, this one registered for an LLC and the trademark, because I was noticing, and I might have put that out on the social media, that the trademark wasn't even there, and I would have paid just $250 for it. So when you think about everything, at least she's had to pay whoever really runs this. I mean, I know her name. I'm just not going to say it out there. She probably has caught up on at least business license and fees that I paid in court to blast this out there. But they do have a franchise fee of $75 for state and regional. There was some other fees in here that they have to pay. And there's the $455 actually. I was charged $465, but this says $455. So they charge me more. And then they have to pay a deposit of $182 per delegate, this and that. However, the thing is she just now registered American Elegance Pageant as an LLC. And to be a franchise, and in Illinois, I'm sure this is the same, you have to be an S Corp or C Corp. So she's still not a franchise. They're still not doing that whole thing right. They use PayPal and probably Venmo and everything now too to get the money and transfer it. Because when I asked for mine back, it was oh, it was already sent. Like, that was the excuse. Oh, it's already sent. And the thing is in their little contract here with their national directors, it says, I agree to never use the words Miss American Elegance in any manner outside of producing an American Elegance state or regional pageant unless specifically approved by the national director. So when you go out and do all of these things, you can't just, say Miss American Elegance. Like, that's the whole point. And if you really read through it, and here again, all costs and things, I paid and rented the hotel, which I canceled, of course. I lost out on my plane ticket. However, she tried to say she paid for my plane ticket. That's not true. At least I have the receipts for that. But as everything that is wrong with this franchise, oh wait, there it is. Well, that's after I got it off the internet. So anyway, you have the lady who actually owns the pageant, because when you look at the registration of the business online, she had somebody do it for her. So it's just like she keeps hiding again. But at least I have the franchise contract as far as that goes. Things from Georgia, that it's not registered. So I don't know if she re-registered Georgia to be able to hold hers or not. But just the fact that they don't want to be legit, and I run a business. There's many women that run businesses. There's many women that run pageants. And out of all the money that you can make just in 1 year, it's pretty crazy to think in 20 years you've made $500,000. And what have you done with this money? What have you paid taxes on? You say you contributed to St. Jude and things like that, but if it's just out of your personal account, that's coming from you. That's not, a contribution from all these queens and princesses and parents that have donated, and it's not coming from American Elegance. It's coming directly from that person. So let's look at the big numbers. As a national pageant, just the national pageant, if you had 6 divisions with 5 princesses in each, and let's just say you do, because after 20 years, you may have only had a couple in the division, but coming up here, if you look on their social media, it looks like you do have about 5 princesses and about 5 queens in each division, which gives you a total national level 30 and 25. You add in your extra fees. Let's say they all do it. You know, some do, some don't. But after 20 years, let's just equal it out. And so you have a number of 13,500 and 15,375 as a profit that you could make from the pageant. Now, mind you, you have crowns and sashes to buy, but in bulk, they're not too expensive. And again, I'm probably lowballing these numbers, and they probably had way more princesses or queens at certain other times. So let's just say, and to be fair, maybe let's just make the princess 13,000. Let's make the queens 15,000, and add that up for 1 year. Okay, princesses. We're just gonna say you made 13 grand off of the American Elegance Pageant Nationals. So this is your, nationals. So the princesses, 5 princesses, 5 divisions, 13 grand you could make off of a pageant. Your queens, you had 5 divisions, 5 queens, and at the 465, you have a $300 entry for the princesses. So, sorry, it's hard to write in the video. So you're looking at 28 grand. Okay. That's 1 nationals, 1 year. And let's just say, again, to lowball it some more for them, you paid $1,500 to rent the room and all of that wonderful stuff. And you do seem to get a lot of sponsorships. Oh, look, old school math. Hey, kids. You do get a lot of sponsorships and things. So donations of prizes, things like that. We're not even going to talk about that. I know how pageants work. I've done plenty since I was 4. So we're not going to worry about that. So either way, you still make 26,500, and I'm trying to think here, like all the excuses people could make of oh, that's too high. No, not really. That's pretty simple. They already have crowns and sashes that they come in with. Pretty much when you buy in bulk, and if you have somebody who can embroider them for you, there's a lot of savings that can be had. So I really think that it's a fair number. So if you make 26,500 off of a national pageant in 1 year, and you've been running this and now it's been about 24 years, but let's just stick with your 20 years, okay? Add it up. Okay, so let's just make it simple. You have $530,000, 20 years of running a pageant that never once was registered as an LLC. You call it a franchise, but you're not an S Corp or C Corp. So the lady who registered it for you, well, she either didn't give you the right advice or she was just doing it for you. And when you ask for her sponsorships from businesses and others, you're making other people look bad when you're not legit. And then to think that you donate money to to charities and organizations, as you say you do in your pamphlet, your book, national book, what proof do you have of that in your taxes? Because you are a business, you are a franchise. I would think that should be easily accepted to know that you are actually donating the money, as you say, along with a lot of other questions. But again, at the end of the day, after this whole 2 years, it's good to see that you took the stance and actually registered your pageant, got a trademark for it, which you say you've been using from 1999, but that doesn't really count, you know. Maybe if you had registered the business, then your trademark since 1999 would be legit, but I don't buy that crap. So either way, congratulations. You've made quite a bit of money. And even after 20 years, if you still think this is highballing it, you made $250,000, or a quarter. Yeah, because there's $500,000. You at least made $250,000. Think of it that, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies who are running other pageants and running other businesses and paying fees and taking care of workman's comp and things like that, which of course I don't have to pay because I mean, it's just me and my business, no other employees, which makes me question your assistants and everything like that. And then when we want to talk about other things, there's people that are pageant coaches and photographers. So, you know, you have the lady that owns American Elegance. You have each state, Illinois, Nevada, Georgia. I think I've seen in Iowa. What are you guys? IA. Then you have your photographers, your pageant coaches. What else were they kind of trying to sell you there? Either way, that's all the money in your franchise going into one big bucket. And I'm just curious, how much do you split with your franchisees for bringing in so much? Because I still feel like that's a lowball number. And $530,000 definitely should be taxed on. However, this is my experience with the American Elegance pageant and all of it. But like I said, it's good to see that they finally registered as a business. They actually registered and paid for the trademark. However, the lies and the dates and, you know, what if it's honest or not, and plus any business that I sent sponsorship things to would have just been like throwing it in the trash because they wouldn't have been able to find anything. So just think about that on International Women's Day, that if you sign a contract with them, it'll just depend on who you are, what you look like, and up to them how much they charge. Because at the end of the day, they could charge $1,500, they could charge $300 to attend their nationals. So, as we all have little ones, let's keep it fair, ladies. Get your business registered, start paying your taxes, and maybe if you were just honest from the beginning, I just wouldn't have taken it this far. But honesty and loyalty and respect to others is a big thing, and you're ripping off a lot of people, even your people involved to help you, it seems. Good luck.